Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great Easter. My name is Katie Proctor. I'm a physical therapist in the district, and I work at Chamberlain with Christy and Julie. And on behalf of the three of us, we wanted to give you an update, kind of the background of Medicaid, and then an update with what the changes have Medicaid have been, and then why we are having to hand out these papers that we've been giving you. So in general, Medicaid is a medical program that reimburses us for medical services. So when you bill for Medicaid, you are billing as a rehab aid, saying that these services that you provided were medically necessary, and you bill under somebody's license. So I think most of you bill under Christy. So when you bill under Christy, you are saying that she's your supervisor, she's the medical supervisor, and she's supervising what you're doing medically. And then Gretchen gets reimbursed for that. The two big things that changed over the past year with Medicaid is, number one, the timestamp. So now that timestamp is saying that during this time and this time, all that service provided was medically necessary. And the other thing that changed was the word effective. So what it was saying, what the wording says now is that during that time between 8 and 2, the medical service that you provided was effective. So this sparked kind of concern throughout the whole district of Rochester with the related service providers, that some providers became very nervous that they would have to determine if those services that paraprofessionals are providing or the rehab aides are providing are actually effective. So throughout probably the past year, the related service providers have been kind of meeting and trying to determine something that would work for everybody. And what it kind of came down to is that speech therapists, for instance, because again, this isn't necessarily to do with Julie and Christy, this is people's concerns over the whole district. They were concerned that if I'm a speech therapist, but you're actually doing OT services during this 8 to 2 time, why am I able to say that your OT treatment is effective? So it was determined that we would split up supervisors. So during your PT time, it would just be me that you would sign off on, because I can determine whether your treatment time for PT is effective. And then your treatment time for OT would be just signed off under Christy. And your treatment time for speech would just be signed off under Julie. And then that helped related service providers feel comfortable that when you're signing off under their license, that they can actually determine that. The other sticky situation is the timestamp. So the papers that we gave you that said like OT time is this, PT time is this, and speech time is this, that timestamp, you're trying to determine when you're giving the most speech services or when you're giving the most OT services, and you're trying to put that timestamp during that time, because it was brought up at recess, if you're billing OT or you're billing speech, like, is that your best carryover? Are you really doing speech during that time? So for a student, let's say, that has a full day para, and it's a pretty intensive support situation, we're trying to make it easy for you because we understand this is a humongous pain in the butt. So we're trying to group it, like, let's say you feel like the morning hours, so 8:30 to 11:30 are the most speech time. So we're trying to say, like, during that time to use for speech. So you would bill under Julie, and then they go out to recess from 11:30 to 12. So that would be the most appropriate PT carryover. So you would put that timestamp from 11:30 to 12 as PT, and then let's say you have art and you have writing in the afternoon. So that would be the most appropriate. 1 to 3 would be most appropriate for OT time. And that would be your timestamp. And you would just switch your supervisors for that specific time. We're asking you also to be helpful, because you might have better well, we actually do this more in this afternoon and this. So we're here to work with you and help you and whatever is easiest for you. The other thing, because I work in different schools, the other thought that we had in another school was to actually have a notebook for you guys. So if you feel like it's really, from 8:30 to 10, we really do speech, and then we would do the OT, and then we would switch over to speech. So you might have to jot down per day what you think, but it's not crazy detailed either. So it's trying to find the best balance for you, but also for the supervisor's comfort level. The other thing that you might notice that changed is if you offer maybe 5 hours of paraprofessional time for supporting, with the timestamp concern, we might actually say that, the actual medical carryover of that 5 hours is really only 2. So we really only feel like you would have to assist that student with either OT, speech, or PT carryover for 2 of those 5 hours. So you would only bill for 2 of the hours, even though you might be with the student for 5. I'm hoping that this video is helpful and gives you a general understanding, because on Wednesday from 3 to 3:30 we'll be meeting, and I think Julie, Christy, and I are hopeful that we can just go over questions you have and ways to work through this to make it easier for you in your day, because we know that this is a huge pain in the butt, that you do a wonderful job and your time is very limited. So we're very sorry that all these changes are happening, but we're also just trying to meld with the district and carry over what would be best ethically for Medicaid. Have a great day.